Mr. Investor Lot, welcome back to the channel, baby. So everybody who was frustrated with Hyliion holdings, as we can see here, they're up 8.2% in pre-market. They're floating around that 9%, 10%. This is based off some very interesting news. They have formulated a Hypertruck Innovation Council. Yes, what is that? So we're going to be talking about this new collaboration which lists some of the massive fleets and technology leaders in the industry. We will talk about their products coming out this year and exactly what some of these partners have been up to. If you're new around here, welcome to the channel. My name is Miguel. I look for the biggest, juiciest growth stocks. I want a 10x, I want a 20x, I want a 50x my money. So I invested back in the day into Hyliion when it was Tortoise acquisition. I saw the massive run up when we hit like $58 per share, and I've watched it slowly crumble down, baby. But I actually believe if they manage to capture some of that market size, even if they get a fraction of the TAM, the total addressable market, it represents an $800 billion replacement market opportunity. So if there's 8 million trucks in operation and they're believing that it's projected to grow, as there's around about 944,000 trucks sold annually, because some of these trucks get beat up on the road, they're constantly driving miles and miles. Damn, look at that spaceship, baby. I believe these guys can 10x from this point if they capture just a fraction of this market. So my average with Hyliion is around about $22 per share right now. So we are about to get into this juicy video and we'll see the run that Hyliion has today. But before we get into the video, make sure you get your 2 free stocks. Look in my description box below. All you have to do is deposit $100 into the Webull account. These stocks could be valued up to $1,850. And if you're able to support my channel, please click the join button above my head. It's only 99 cents a month, but you help me create great videos. But if you're unable to, just you hitting the like and clicking subscribe is enough for me. Thank you so much for your support. Let's get into this video. Okay, so this morning when I was checking up on Hyliion, I just wanted to see some of my stocks. I wanted to see what is going on with each stock in the morning. I have awoken to see that Hyliion is forming this kind of Hypertruck Innovation Council. So what they want to do is advance electrification solutions for the commercial transportation industry. And we can see here the new collaboration includes fleets and technology leaders. They've bunched them all together. And Hyliion is going to be releasing the Hypertruck ERX this year. As you can see on my right, the Hypertruck ERX 2021. This is coming out just before, Tesla's Semi and Nikola. Do they even have a product? So when the Hypertruck comes out, these council members above are going to be the first ones who can try out the Hypertruck ERX, and they are going to be directly feeding back to Hyliion, telling them what's good with this truck, what needs to be improved, and helping it along its path to commercialization. So what this collaboration is really about is to drive the sustainable practices in the commercial trucking industry. So within this Business Wire article, Thomas Healy was basically saying that the customers are at the very heart of the success model, and the council is going to be coming together to ensure that Hyliion is going to provide for all the unique and diverse needs of today's fleets. And one of the council members from Anheuser-Busch, and these guys have one of the largest fleets in the US. They're basically a beer company that is driving towards zero emissions commercial transportation, and they want to improve sustainability for their own fleets. So what I wanted to do is just go into one of the customers and let's take a look. So what these guys are doing is they want to reduce their emissions by 70% compared to using conventional diesel by using renewable natural gas. So exactly how big is this company? These guys have been delivering great quality beers for over 165 years. Today they own and operate more than 100 facilities, including breweries, wholesaler distribution centers, agricultural facilities and packaging plants. And according to Wikipedia, they employ over 30,000 people, and they've always had this thing about driving the industry towards a more sustainable future. They're very environmentally focused. They're constantly investing in sustainable logistics, and a zero emission fleet gives us purpose beyond brewing. So these guys are going to be putting in orders because they need to meet their sustainability goals. There's 2025 sustainability goals. They've committed to reducing their carbon emissions across their value chain by 25% by 2025. If you look at the miles spent on the roads, nationally they travel lots of routes and different distances every single year, and they're delivering their products over 350 million miles each year. They work with many digital freight partners to help ensure that they are delivering each beer in the most sustainable way. And although they have transitioned more than 180 trucks in the St. Louis and Houston fleets to renewable natural gas, they've got a hell of a lot more to do. What's interesting to see is they were actually acquired by this company called InBev. InBev actually bought the brewer in a $52 billion takeover, and then they became Anheuser-Busch InBev. And as you can see here, Anheuser-Busch down there is a subsidiary of this company. Now check this out. They've got 170,000 employees in this company. They are making global revenues in 2019 of about 52.3 billion. But can you imagine if all of these guys were to commit to having zero carbon emissions? Budweiser, Tesla, all of these juicy companies they've got under their portfolio, there is an absolute massive marketplace for replacing their current diesel trucks. These guys had already completed their first zero-emission beer delivery back in 2019, and you can see that AB InBev is actually exploring all the possibilities around, so there could be possibilities of automation and other digital technologies to improve the efficiency of their trucks and their routes. So definitely, I think this is a great move by Hyliion. It's a great initiative in order to bring everybody together and improve their vehicle as much as possible, but also by getting the vehicle in there with these guys, and they can see how much they're saving, how much money they're saving. Not only are they saving money, but they're becoming environmentally friendly and sustainable, which is what companies like Anheuser-Busch wants to do. Hyliion is basically drip feeding their product into these companies. Now, although they have formed this council, this doesn't mean that they'll be able to land crazy amounts of sales. They're just literally drip feeding it first, improving the product, and we are still awaiting that good news of the first sales coming through. And Hyliion CEO is about to go live on a Squawk CNBC channel. He's going to be breaking it down, probably talking about all the announcements that they've got coming up, including what just got announced today. Absolutely love this news as well. Earlier on in the week, when we saw that customers were actually using the compressed natural gas hybrid installations and they were transforming their current fleets. All we need is for one fleet to actually take a hold, start making sales, and we can see all the other ones will start to come through. People will choose their different suppliers based on who can save them the most money and who can have the best results. Ultimately, it's about saving money, and Hyliion, if they can give you greater range and they can also make it super sustainable, it makes you think that when the Hypertruck ERX is actually out, and if you can see on my left here, they were saying that the total cost of ownership over 7 years is going to be absolutely smoking the competition. If these guys are able to live up to that and they're able to show that to people who have all of these fleets, then we could see some juicy sales coming in. They've got a great product with great partnerships in place. All we need is a few sales, even just a couple of % from the total global marketplace. All of these customers to target, all of these regulations coming in like the Paris Agreement. Hyliion could be ready for a ride of a lifetime.
Electric powertrain company Hyliion is forming an innovation council. It will be made up of leaders from across a number of industries who will test and review Hyliion's new Hypertruck tech. It's not easy to say. To help the further electrification of the trucking industry, joining us now in a Squawk exclusive is founder, Hyliion CEO, also still on the board and founder, and an engineer from Carnegie Mellon, Thomas Healy. Good to see you. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, today was a big announcement for us. We've pulled in some of the largest names in the industry, including companies like Anheuser-Busch and Penske and Ryder and Werner, and announced that these are going to be the first guys to run our electric powertrain technology when we start rolling out demos later this year. So we're thrilled about this announcement. We've got some of the best names in the industry here working with us.
Not everybody is familiar with what you do. So you may eventually make an electric truck, but at this point, you take existing semis and change the powertrain for almost a hybrid electrical and / natural gas powertrain. But it can be done immediately and has been done immediately to existing trucks.
That's correct. So we're taking a little bit of a unique approach here where we're not trying to reinvent the whole vehicle. You know, when we looked at this shift towards electrification, the area for evolution is really in the powertrain, right? That's where the uniqueness of electric comes into play. So we're staying focused on just revolutionizing that with, taking an approach where, we know we need to reduce the operating costs for fleets. We know we need to reduce emissions, and we're taking, natural gas as our way to recharge the battery pack. And so with that, we don't need to build out all new infrastructure. There's already natural gas recharging stations across the U.S.
I wish we had a longer chart. I don't know if anyone looked, but your stock was as high after the SPAC or after the conversion went all the way up to $50 or $60. Did it not? There it is. That explains exactly what happened. Those were some heady times, were they not? Thomas, is this more appropriate, or now do you feel it's undervalued?
Yeah, so we see that this is really a long-term journey here. I mean, we're at a point where we've already started rolling out some of our hybrid powertrains with fleets. The Hypertruck later this year, going into next year, we're going to be rolling that out. And this is a long-term journey. I mean, we got a long ways to go here in terms of, really getting volume shipments, taking these fleets that we announced today and getting products in their hands, letting them experience it. We see the upside potential here of where we're heading. This industry is huge. It's about an $800 billion market opportunity for us. And now it's about us and going out and actually executing and driving that long-term value. So we see that there's a lot of upside potential in what we're doing.
The battery is recharged to 1,000-mile. It can go that far with natural gas. So it's not plugged in. You actually have a natural gas unit on board as part of the powertrain that then charges the battery.
That's correct. So, when we looked at this shift towards electrification, we saw that there were two big issues. One is that electric vehicles are notorious for not having great range, and you need a lot of recharging infrastructure being built out in order to make them successful, in order to drive across the country. So what we did is we said, all right, well, let's rethink this. Let's actually bring the generator with us to produce electricity. And we found that by using natural gas and an onboard natural gas to electric generator, we can actually produce the electricity on the vehicle for cheaper and cleaner than you could actually buy it off of the grid. So once you get to those sort of economics, you kind of ask the question, well, why would we ever plug it into the grid? Right. Why not just produce it locally?
Okay.
Always remember, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment only. And if you are able to support my channel, please hit the join button above my head. It's only 99 cents a month. And you really help me to create great videos like this. Thank you so much for your love and support. And I'll see you in the next video. Mr. Invest a Lot, over and out, baby.